Welcome everyone. I am your favorite doctor here live on the chapters of Truth Psychic coming to you at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am available with Alchemist, Chef of healing in our environment, our surroundings, of elements of color, vibration, better, work, earth, fire, and so much more. Get in touch with of our body, from our DNA to our mind. We also touch many things of self-discovery and subconscious of all of ourselves, of healing, of understanding that God is. I want you to reach out and listen to this live. Whether recipes as they want recipes healing, whether it's with evidence or also emotion of healing. So if you have something for you, I want you to stay tuned. Everybody. And if you want more in-depth services, go to www.chefifyaomi.com. That is chefifyaomi.com. I give you and that's the message. And let me know what you would like to discuss. What services you like to inquire. And if you want to reach out and do telephone, instead of text or set up your you can do that at 480-259-9407. I wish love, light, longevity, and peace. Okay, everyone. Hello. This is your favorite food alchemist. We are shooting here live today on the Food Alchemy channel. And I have a wonderful chef. And like I told you, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about organic. We're going to talk about heirlooms, produce. I don't want to say vegetables because produce is very, very important because it covers a wide range of grains and fruits and vegetables, just in case you didn't know what produce means. So I have a wonderful chef that is being known that you know, Chef Ifyaomi. I'm saying her name wrong, so forgive me. I just call her sister. Ifyaomi. She's a vegan chef. She's out there, you guys, in the Las Vegas area. So if you guys are out there, you want to reach out to her, you can find her. You can find her on LinkedIn. You can find her on Facebook. You can go to my webpage on Food Alchemist fan page. I will have her information there. Also, we'll have it on Veggies Become You Facebook page so that you can find her. She has this 365-day calendar that she's kicking off, and that you'll be able to get wonderful recipes and information about the plant-based diet. So you're just like, what is the plant-based diet? That means nothing of animal product is entered into these recipes. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So with that being said, I want to welcome our guests onto the show. So welcome, sis. Can you hear me very well?
I can hear you, Chef Stephanie, Food Alchemist. Thank you so much for having me on your show. And just so that your listeners audience can know, my name is pronounced Ifyaomi. So, like, it's spelled Ifyaomi, but what I share with most people is if you just remember that the I is pronounced E, when you look at it, it's spelled exactly how it sounds. So it's Chef Ifyaomi.
Chef Ifyaomi. Okay, I should know that, right? Because it's like Ifa for people that is in Yoruba.
That's exactly where it comes from. It comes from Ifa, what my name means. In the Yoruba tradition is that Ifa, which is the God of wisdom and knowledge, saves and protects me, or shall I say the God deity of wisdom and knowledge, saves, protects, and guides me. That's exactly what my name means.
Okay, so that's see, you guys learn something new every day. So I want to talk to them about, because I was telling you that some people didn't know that about heirloom vegetables and GMO vegetables can be organic, and we were talking about that. They don't understand that concept. They thinking, well, if I go into the great whole paycheck, aka Whole Foods, that when it says organic, it's non-GMO. But that is not true, as we know. I wanted to explain that because a lot of people have misconceptions about that. GMOs are basically manipulated in the process, as I said, to grow. Some are done without, they can be done without the pesticides and the herbicides, but they're crossbred to say they're protecting from the plant. Like our corn was crossbreed with, I'm trying to think of the plant. I learned this, like 15 years ago, because I was as of the debate. It was a crossbreed of a tropical plant, and I can't remember the name of it. Just they crossbreed the corn with a tropical plant so it'd be resistant to bugs and that it would not be eaten up. That's what they said it was. Just like the carrot that you see that is orange, that is not the original carrot. The carrot that the heirloom carrot was actually purple. Like our tomatoes that you see that are red and they're from green, the original tomato was not red. It was purple, it was yellow, it was oblong, it was shaped weird, and they crossbred and they planted these plants and just made it them so they would look better and appeal better. That was their theory of doing this. Just like the carrot, they didn't think the carrot would be appealing to people. So the Dutch that made the carrot orange, botanists, messed around with some crossbreeding of other plants and put them together, and now you have today's carrot. And same thing with the corn. So you can have organic GMO vegetables, okay, unless it says non-GMO, or you find out, because I'm learning people like to label stuff. So you need to get to know your agricultural farmers, where your produce is coming from, and find out. Talk, be friendly. And then that explains that heirlooms have been around for a long time and they have seeds in them. Like, seedless watermelon. I'm sorry. The bananas that you eat are actually hybrids as well. And even though they're organic, the original banana actually has seeds in them. That's how you have the El Nino bananas, you have the plantanos bananas, and all of this. They've been crossbred to get the banana that we have today. So when you see those little seeds in the middle, like those little salsa, they were originally seeds. But because we didn't want the seeds, we crossbred to get rid of the seeds. So if you have a banana that doesn't have seeds in it, you're eating, you hear me, guys? You are eating a GMO banana.
And that, Chef, goes across the board, really, for eating fruit. Any fruit, most fruit are supposed, all fruits, not most fruit, are supposed to bear seeds, period. And so if it's a fruit that normally has seed and there is no seeds in it, like you said, bananas, when I was growing up, you're absolutely right, bananas had seeds in them. If they don't have seeds in it, then it is a crossbreed. It is a genetically modified. How, to your point, people can move a little bit further away from that is if you're in a position, by all means, grow your own food. That way, not only will you know that you're getting non-genetically modified food, but you'll also be eating foods that are in season, because a lot of times produce are genetically modified so that we can have them all year round. If we follow the cycle, the life cycle, and how produce is produced from the point where it's planted to actual harvest, you'll find that there are a lot of fruits and vegetables or a lot of produce that's not in season all at the same time, unlike when you go into your local grocery store or supermarket or whatever. Right. And, for people who are looking to be healthy, to make sure that they are putting the best foods into their body, and even people, believe it or not, who are looking to adjust and or modify their weight, you'll find that it's easier to do when you're eating foods that are in season, or when you're eating foods that are genetically
modified. Right. You're right. You're correct. And there is a calendar, just for people to know, when fruits and vegetables, because the way I grew up, I didn't know that people get buy stuff in the supermarket. I didn't grow up like other kids grew up, like they went to a supermarket. I didn't grow up like that. My Nona and my nanny actually planted all their vegetables. And my godmother, she planted, she's an Italian woman, she planted her vegetables. So every summer we would go out, and it was like, for the tomatoes that we had, she would pick them, the peppers, the cucumbers. There were certain things, now mind you, that were grown that we picked and we canned. And I don't mean in those cans that have aluminum and BPA products. They were canned in glass jars where we made jams, homemade jams. We made stewed tomatoes and carrots and peas and green beans and pickled vegetables, cucumbers, and all this stuff. As I remember growing up, and I'm thinking everybody did that. And then we would pick herbs, and she would dry them, and the peppers, make our own hot sauce. This is the kind of family I come from, and I was wondering, I thought everybody did that. I didn't walk into my first grocery store. Y'all can laugh at me if you want. I walked in my first grocery store when I was about 22 years old. I didn't understand a grocery store because I went to a farmer's market, or it was just a farmer's market, the local producer, or a butcher, a fish smuggler. We didn't do supermarkets. I didn't find out about supermarkets until about 17. And the first supermarket I seen was something called ShopRite. I don't know. And then another one's Pathmark. This is an East Coast supermarket, ladies and gentlemen. So those were the first supermarket, and I didn't understand that concept. It wasn't until I actually went into service and found out other people don't do what I was raised to do, and that's why my diet was different. So these are just some, no's. So sometimes I gotta forgive my ignorance of not knowing people growing up. I ate what was made, like beets. That was foreign to me until I worked in a restaurant because my family didn't eat beets. We ate broccoli
Are you
rabe.
saying beets or are you meat?
Beets. Beets. They didn't eat beets.
Okay, beets.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't eat beets. Okay.
No, I never seen beets until I was working in at a Ponderosa Steakhouse of all things. I was the salad bar keeper. And the only reason I worked there is because I love to eat salad. Now tell me, and all the meat places, all the meat, I didn't want no meat. I wanted the salad bar. And they thought I was crazy. And I had beets, and you would have sworn that you had gave me some candy because I put them suckers on my plate and I was sitting there eating. My mother looked at me like she couldn't stand them as a kid. So that's why I never had them.
Oh, I see.
So yes. When I got them,
one of my favorites too.
See, and it has iron, which we need. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. Like these things, like for iron, my family, my mother would fix liver and onions, and I was like, I can't stand liver and onions as a kid, and even as I got older, I ate some meat products. There were some issues, you know. I love beets.
Yeah, I had issues too. As a matter of fact, when I told my mother that I was vegetarian and that I was going to be vegan or eat a plant-based diet, her response was, "Thank God. If anybody should be vegetarian, it should be you," because I had issues. I had issues growing up with the whole meat thing. Me and the meat thing did not get along. And to your point, one of the things that I disliked the most was liver.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the things. But I had two grandmothers, a godmother, and an aunt who did everything from scratch. And there were, out of those four women, there were two gardens. And so, they pretty much made the same things all the time. I didn't know at that time because it was due to the harvesting and the soil and so on and so forth, and due to our culture. There were certain foods that they just wanted to eat all of the time just because of our culture. And so I, like you, I did get a chance to go into the grocery store.
Really?
But if my memory serves me, yeah, but it was for them specifically to get mainly their meat. And at that time, it wasn't in grocery stores, more in a butcher shop.
There you go. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, or going to the butcher. And so I don't really have, that recollection. I do remember, because everyone did everything from scratch, I remember the first time I experienced and found out that you could actually purchase already chopped up vegetables and in the frozen food section. When I discovered that frozen food section, where they had vegetables chopped up, onions chopped up, beans, greens, I was in my 30s. I was in my early 30s.
Yeah.
I was in shock. Well, first of all, because I was thinking, wait a minute, there's somebody that's doing this already, and I'm spending all of this time cutting all of these vegetables all the time.
Yes.
So that the first thing was that was a shock. I didn't even think that was, possible or whatever. But to your point, that just, shows you how my upbringing was. I didn't even know that existed until my early 30s. So I did, for the most part, even though the early part of my life I was eating meat. But the point that I'm making is that when it came to fruits and vegetables and all produce, it was always fresh. It was always freshly prepared. It was always freshly chopped. And for the most part, it was seasonal. Even though I didn't realize that back then, looking back now, I recognize that that's what they were doing. And they were canning. They were making, jellies and jams and putting stuff in jars and, putting them out in the garage and in the barn and all of that kind of stuff like that. And so, yeah, I actually came up preparing food that way. So for me to become a plant-based chef, it really the transition was easy. It wasn't any different from what I was doing already, really.
See, and that's good. See, because I remember snapping green beans. I remember shucking peas.
Yes.
And peeling corn and
crowder peas and butter beans.
Yes.
And, picking mustard greens and collard greens and turnip greens and okra and eating succotash fresh. It was just the most incredible. I mean, it was just the most incredible experience. And so really all I had to do was to figure out a way to prepare these same type of foods and just, make them whatever meat they were using the season or whatever meat they were using as a side dish, and then take that and just make it healthier without losing the substance, the smell, the beauty of it, as well as the flavor.
Right. See, okay, well, we'll just leave it like that. Okay, so I like that we're learning a lot about these foods. And also what I wanted you to know.
And let me just say this. I just have to say this. There was never a time where I opened up a watermelon and there were not seeds in it. That was a part of the whole experience.
Yes.
Of eating watermelon. Okay?
Yes.
We used to have watermelon seeds getting contest. Okay?
I like that.
So the whole watermelon was just, I remember the first time I looked at a watermelon that didn't have any seeds in it, and I remember thinking to myself, what is that? Is that watermelon? And just the shock from it. Well, I came here, I went to visit my family, and in Chicago, because a lot of people in Chicago, which is where I'm originally from, I am in Vegas, working as a plant-based chef, but independently and running my own business, my own personal chef business. But I'm originally from Chicago, where a lot of people migrated us from the South, and so even in Chicago, with it being the big city, there's really still a kind of Southern feel to it in some areas, and so you can drive up and down the south side of Chicago anytime and you see those trucks on the side, the watermelon man.
Yeah.
And on that truck, I know absolutely I'm going to get a watermelon with some seeds in it. I mean, a lovely watermelon. So I just wanted to bring that. I just wanted to mention that when I was growing up, there was never, so what they have now, the seedless watermelon, I no. So. All fruit should have seeds.
Right.
All fruit should have seeds. And I'm saying this to the listeners out there: if you are eating any type of fruit and it does not have any seeds in it, it is not real fruit. It is a hybrid. It has been genetically modified.
Yes, ma'am.
So
even grapes.
Information. Believe it or not, I was in Florida. Florida, of all places, bought a papaya. Opened up a papaya. There was not one seed in it.
Seriously?
In Florida.
No.
Yes, I know.
What?
I was in such shock, Chef, that I took a picture of it, right? And then I threw it in the garbage.
Oh my gosh. No. Wow. Okay.
Papaya. The papaya has probably as many seeds as a watermelon does.
Right.
They're just all concentrated in one area, in the center of it. Whereas a watermelon, the seeds are spread throughout the watermelon. So, yeah, imagine my surprise.
See, and I'll tell you guys, and the reason that y'all might want to keep the papaya seeds and dehydrate them, you can actually use that as a meat tenderizer. Or a tenderizer period, and it also helps your skin to make skin products to help your skin look beautiful.
Digestive system.
Right.
Digestive system.
Right. It helps you digest stuff. It brings enzymes in your body that you need This is just FYI. So if you can't really tell, there are also stickers that you got to be aware of. They have the number 8 on them. They have the number 9, and you need to know, you know, the organic and the non-organic and conventional. Now, the conventional and the heirloom do not have the numbers on them, but the organic does. And the organic number is 9. The conventional is 8, but they don't necessarily, because it's conventional, they don't have to put that label on it with the numbers. Like when you go to buy your produce and you scan it, there's a reason why there's numbers on it, because it classify it as different fruits and vegetables. So that is FYI for you guys to know. And then it says organic. Some of them say FDA approved organic, some of them. And if they don't, like I'm learning, some guys said even if you're finding that plant-based product, sometimes they don't label them because there's a little bit more. So what you want to do is research that company and find out. Don't go by the blog that is sponsored by these people. Go outside that they have nothing to gain for lying. You understand? So that gives you a little bit of more insight. And then when you find out where the farmer is and find out the organic farmers, meaning, like I said, you can find organic farmers, but they can be organic GMOs. So you want to find a non-GMO organic farmer, local farmer from farm to table that does not use pesticide, herbicides, and they are tested every so many years, and the land is tested for it to be certified as organic land. But GMOs, they're not really testing too finely. So how do you find that out? So what you do is you talk to the local farmer, find out if they're heirloom, and heirlooms means they've been passed down from generation to generation for you to know. And there are some heirloom farmers in your area, and realize there's a reason why they have the farmer's almanac. There's a reason why they tell you what grows in season. You know, for me, the biggest thing for as a kid was looking forward to the fall. The reason the fall is because it was apple season and berry picking season. You know, now it's like, oh, I go in the store and I see this, but food to me, I'm sorry, you guys on the mainland, it don't have any taste whether it's organic or not. It's just
not in season. If it's not in season.
I'm just like, when I said I couldn't wait to go back home, that is one of the reasons, because of the food. Go ahead.
You know, what people don't realize too is that a lot of fruit is harvested in the fall.
Right.
Not just apples, oranges, lemons,
yep.
Pomegranate. How I know this is because I had a pomegranate, a blood orange, and a lemon tree. Okay. And so I usually get the most of my oranges and lemons and pomegranates in October. Okay, in the fall, which is around the same time that the apples fall. So
right.
One day, again, I'm in Florida, the quote-unquote sunshine state, where we have been taught to believe that that's where, you know, all the orange groves are, the orange trees and orange everything. And right. So I was in a store, and I was buying some oranges, and I say to the produce, there was a guy in the produce section, and he was stocking, and I say to him, how long have these oranges been in the store? Because I bought some oranges the other day, and they weren't that good.
Right.
So this was his response. And this had to be about, I want to say June. It was in June. Mm-hmm. And his response was, well, you know, they're probably not that good because they're coming from South Africa, because oranges are not in season here. And so they're shipped from South Africa to Florida. That's a long way.
Heck yeah.
For orange to travel for you to eat it in your local supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
At that very moment, I that orange down and turned around and walked out. I just could not believe it. So I brought that up because, too, you were talking about the heirloom farmers. And, you know, if you can stay local with your produce, you know, a lot of times, if the produce is not genetically modified, the local produce, in a lot of cases, sometimes it's going to be better for you and fresher for you than those that are marked organic, that's traveling, you know, from California to Chicago or wherever it is.
Right.
So you know, you might want to keep that in mind too. It could be organic, but if you think about the time that it takes to go from wherever it's coming from, then it sits, it travels, right? It's picked, harvested, right?
Right.
They may spray it, or whatever. Then they have to package it, right?
Yep.
And of course, all of this is not done in one day, okay?
Correct.
So by the time it's actually harvested, from the time it's on the truck, it's about a 3-day process. Then, depending upon where it goes, from the time it gets on the truck, that could be up to a 3 to 5 day process. Then, when it gets to your local supermarket now, it has to be unloaded and it's in a bag. And then they have a process. So we're looking at probably another day or so before it actually gets out on the floor and on the shelves for you to purchase it. Yep. So we're talking the time frame from when it was harvested to when it's actually on your plate. In most instances, could be up to about a 2-week process.
See, and that's good. And see, people, which you don't know, people in Arizona, we're the last one to get the fruits and vegetables off the truck.
Yes.
How about that? Yes. We are the last ones. You hear me? Last ones. And that's sad. But you know what? It's okay. You know, so what do? You can buy heirloom seeds and you can actually plant your own. And there's different banks. And what I'm going to do is put a link under there and let you know what you can do to do that and get in touch with them that I know of. I'm putting people that I know of and where you can buy them and where I trust them, where you can actually see the seeds and know that they've been, been given to another person. You know what I mean? So I want you to have that. I really do. So I'm going to provide that information at the bottom of the video that you're going to be able to see on YouTube as well. Now, let's talk about your Kickstart calendar. Explain a little bit about it. You're a plant-based chef, which we know, and tell us about this calendar. Explain it more in detail so people can understand how they can purchase it, where they can get it at, what's going on. Let's get it out there. Let people know what's up.
Okay, I would be more than happy to. It's a project that I have been working on for the past 2 years. Actually, it's been 2 years this year. The Kickstarter campaign actually launched June 1st of this year, 2015. And you can find it at www.kickstarter.com/Chef Ifyaomi /365-day calendar, or even if you just Googled, Kickstarter Chef Ifyaomi, I'm sure it will come up. But before I tell you guys a little bit more about the calendar, let me just share with you my motivation behind creating this project. I became a plant-based chef because I started to incorporate that as a way of life to me. So I don't look at it from a perspective of a diet. I look at it more as a way of life. And the reason why is because I experienced some serious health issues during a time, actually, when I thought I was healthy, okay? My first career, my first love, artistic love, as I like to always refer to it as, is that I was a dancer and a fitness instructor for many years. And so, at any given point in a week, I was teaching it between dance and fitness and step aerobics classes and stuff like that. I was teaching at least 4 to 5 classes a week. And so I thought I was in pretty good shape physically, very fit, and I thought that I was very healthy. And so I ended up becoming very, very ill, and to the point where the doctors told me to get my affairs in order, actually, because they just really didn't know what to do. And so something just came over me spiritually when I was in the hospital that made me know and understand that I don't have to be a victim to whatever they're saying that this is. And I just kind of silently went into some prayer meditation, just asking for the guidance that I needed to take my life into my own hands. And if I was given the proper information, applied it, and it worked, then now I would share that information with the rest of the world. And so, to make a long story really short, that's exactly what happened. I ended up embarking upon a serious and dedicated 28-day detoxification program. I was already vegetarian prior to this happening, and then after I went through the detox program, I started eating all raw foods. And just simple. It wasn't even that deep. I didn't have a dehydrator at the time. I didn't have a spiraler. I didn't have all of those things that you need and all of the equipment that you need to maintain, a mainly raw diet. So I just did simple things. I ate lots of salads. I did lots of juicing, and stuff like that. And so it shifted. What they told me was ailing me was no longer ailing. Couldn't even find any residuals of it anymore. And so I embarked on my business to be able to share that with people, because what I came to realize is that I believe that most people would incorporate more plant-based foods into their daily lives if they felt as if they didn't have to sacrifice good tasting foods, or those foods that keeps us connected to our family, our friends, our culture, and B, if they knew how to prepare those foods properly. The misnomer with plant-based eating and vegan and vegetarianism in terms of preparing food is that, it's so difficult. I have to be so creative. I have to do something so much more different than what I'm doing right now, when in all actuality, it takes the same amount of energy. The only thing that really has to change is your thought process about it. And so I felt like if I could meet people where they are and show them how to prepare the foods that they already eat, that they're very, very familiar with, then it would help them in their process and or in their transition to a plant-based vegan lifestyle. And the reason why I always put plant-based in front of it, because there are a lot of vegans out there who survive off of potato chips and French fries. Okay, and so it's okay to call yourself vegan when you're eating a diet like that, just because you're not taking in any meat or meat byproduct. But in order to make sure that you are getting all of the nutrients that you need in a day, and you should be eating a variety of plant-based foods, plant-based produce, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, okay? And so initially I was writing a book, and then I had the opportunity to go on tour. Well, I was contacted to go on tour with an artist, and the artist wanted me to be the chef for the people that was on the tour, but also there were going to be certain stops that they were going to be making and things that they were going to be doing from a philanthropy perspective, and they wanted to put me out front and teach some classes. And so they said, well, do you have a book? Do you have something that you can sell? Not only will it lend more credibility to who you are as a plant-based chef, but, it would also give you an opportunity to generate some more revenue for yourself if you have some sort of book or product or something that you could sell. And at the time I was working on my book, but I knew that book would not be finished in time for the tour. So I said, okay, well, I can create, because this was like a year before the tour actually was going to take place. So I said, oh, okay, I could create something simple. I can create a calendar. And then I started, just kind of thinking about like what that would look like for me. And so what I would want. And that's the perspective that I have when I meet with my clients, when I do lecture demonstrations, when I talk to people. It's always like, what would have made this easier for you, Ifyaomi, if you had. So that's what I am working to produce for people that are looking to transition. And so the calendar seems like a great idea because it's quick. Everybody has a calendar, even if they have right now more of an electronic calendar. But I thought it would be a great way for people to look at the calendar every day and get little bits of information, ideas, suggestions that they can use daily. And so by the end of the year, they can see that this is not as difficult as it was. Because, change is going to, for the most part, be a gradual thing for most people. And so if you're looking at this every day, you can say, oh, is that all I need to do is replace this with that? Oh, I can just add that. Oh, I already have a can of beans in my cupboard or in my pantry, and all I need to do is chop up an onion and add some corn and add a blah, 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 and now I got a black bean salsa. I didn't know it was so simple. And so that's where the idea came from and the motivation came from. I wanted to create something quick, simple, clear, concise, that could be user friendly for people. And at the same time, I wanted to offer a recipe of the month. So within the calendar, there's a recipe of the month, and that recipe also has a grocery shopping list. So you don't even have to think about what you need to buy for it, with, of course, the preparation instructions for that recipe. Because I believe that optimum health, whether you are obtaining it for the first time or maintaining it overall, is a whole mind, body, spirit kind of thing. It's not just one thing. I also added in the calendar an exercise tip of the month, an affirmation of the month, as well as a fruit, vegetable, grain, bean, legume, herb, spice, and nut and seed of the month. And my objective was to use what was in season for those monthly for that monthly produce, and then the recipe of the month is created from what those monthly produce items are, if that makes some sense.
It sounds good. I mean, that sounds really good. That, that gives them a perspective that, and some people can, like you said, transition slowly.
Right.
And like, I tell everybody out there, not everybody is going to gravitate to a plant-based diet, and that's okay. I'm not judging you. It's not my place to judge you. So I need to say that, because sometimes us plant-based people that are talking or that have been vegan, we come on like gangbusters, like Christians. Like, oh,
sometimes,
you know.
Yeah,
but
sometimes,
right.
I agree. Sometimes, it can be a little bit but
yeah.
But
we're coming from a loving place.
I just believe that knowledge is power.
Right.
And so, yes, I'm a plant-based chef, and yes, I've been doing this now for almost 10 years, but I'm learning stuff every day.
There you go.
All the time about, what I do and how I do it and the services that I offer, and especially when you're dealing and working with people, right? Because everybody is different. And if you're approaching it from an open-minded perspective and being open, then, it's not them that you have to make the adjustment as much as it is you.
Right.
And so that's where a lot of, how I learn and create my recipes and do the things that I do comes from my interaction with my clients and the people that I work with and for. So no, I'm not judging them, but I am bringing knowledge about this way of eating and living that they may not be aware of, and that's my only purpose.
Right. No, I had.
The interesting part about it is when people contact me anyway. Normally, they're at that point,
right,
where they have to make a change, right? So they're a little bit more open and receptive to it at that point, anyway.
And that's good. See, and that's what I want everybody to know. We can get along, period, no matter what it is. And it's not going to happen for some people overnight. And that's another thing. You got to accept that some people can do cold turkey and just do it all the way with guidance. And some people just like, okay, this is it. And just what they just do. But some people just need a little nit and tuck here and, just little advice. So that's where she comes in. And she can help you. Like, okay, what do I make a transition? So maybe you want to make a green smoothie every day. What do you do to give you the vitality? How do you come up with a recipe? What are you looking for? Or you might have an ailment that can help you, and she'll be able to help you like, okay, well, let's sit down and do a consultation and figure out what you need. I do that too. I do that too, but right now I'm doing something totally different for me. So I'm giving you people out here that you can get in touch with that is like myself, that I believe in their work. And anybody that I bring on, I want you to know that I trust their judgment. So I'm giving stamp that this is someone that I would trust if I had a question, or I would go to and know that if they're on the Food Alchemy Network, or they're on the Food Alchemist channel, or they're doing a show with me, I've talked with them, I've conversed with them, and I have respect for what their work in doing and their purpose to bring it to you. So that's why I bring these people to you. Now, as you can see, there was a trailer to this video, you guys go, with Chef Ifyaomi on there. There was a trailer. So I put that, and it's about who she is. So you might want to look at this trailer afterwards. Or I don't know if you guys looked at it before, so this gives you an insight of who she is, how she does it, her cuisine, her style, and her personality. And also you're going to find out about the Kickstart 365-day calendar that is under this link of the video. So you'll be able to get in touch and help bring this to fruition. As she says right now, she's not in Las Vegas. She's Chicago. So she's mobile. If you have the right opportunity for her, get in touch with her. Like I said, she's on Facebook.
Absolutely.
I will put down that information here that you can get in touch with her on Facebook. You can get in touch with her on LinkedIn. She is social media available, attached, that you can get in touch with and get that information from her, and she'd be more than happy. So you might have a workshop that you're thinking of her. As you said, you heard her go on a tour with others for a plant-based diet and understanding and working with them as a personal chef. So it might be that that's what you need. You're looking for someone to be able to travel with you in your unit. She's the perfect person. Call her up, make an appointment, send her an email, let her know that you've seen her and you heard her testimony and her information, because this is fulfilling. And for some people that are in a plant-based diet, it helps elevate them spiritually and actually get clearer thoughts. I said some, not all, because I can't say what everybody's mind is at, but we're going to boast on that you will need that to get clarification of where you're going, especially if you have health issues. And that might be the one that you need. So you might need to detox. So there's detoxing things that you can do and cleanse your body. There might be exercise and movements from yoga to Pilates that she can suggest, whatever you're going through, from heart disease to cancer to diabetes to overweight or even underweight, and how to gain appropriate weight to gain the weight. We talk about overweight so much, but we forgot about the other side. There's some people that actually want to gain weight and don't know how to do it properly. So they're told to eat dozens and dozens of eggs and all these fatty stuff. and not appropriate stuff to go about it rightly to build muscle. What do you do to build muscle? You need magnesium, you need protein, you need calcium, you need vitamin C. Some of the stuff like the herbs and stuff that you're taking for cancer, it needs a support. So you need to know how to make those work for you. Like if you're taking turmeric, my best thing is to take vitamin C. And so when you're making a turmeric shake or a lassi like they have in India, do a little turmeric and you have a little vitamin C from the mango, the orange juice, and maybe the kefir or almond kefir or coconut kefir or whatever you need to do to make it stick, and actually it'll help the body as well as the inflammation. So these are things that you need to know and work with someone that knows this, and she's going to be able to help you, get this together, whatever it may be. So,
And I also work, in addition to being a personal chef, I also work with organizations as well, Chef Ifyaomi.
Okay.
I was the head chef for a vegan and vegetarian summer camp for 3 years in a row for children, actually, up in Virginia. I just came back from Portland. We were actually in Salem, which is the capital of Oregon, for an organization that wanted me to come in and not only help them recreate what they were calling their deli and turn it into an actual cafe and working commercial kitchen, but I also, in addition to that, created their plant-based menu. So they kept some of the things that they had on the menu, but they wanted to have a really strong plant-based menu. The point that I'm making is that I don't just work with personal chef clients, I also work with organizations as well. So, yes, I am available for travel. I am available for, like if you have something that you only want to be doing for 3 months or 6 months, I am the go-to person for that. And what I like to do with my clients, as a matter of fact, it's never my intent to have a client that needs my help and assistance and then want them to be my client forever and ever. Amen. My intent with them is to actually show them, share with them, and then teach them how to live this lifestyle on their own once I have gone. And so I just had a client that I worked with in Las Vegas. Her children bought her a gift certificate for my services, and her and I worked together for almost a month. And every now and then, she was one of my biggest backers on Kickstarter because she was just so pleased. She had went through a detoxification program. And let me say this, too. You don't have to be vegan, plant-based, or vegetarian to work with me. I can show you how to shift to that. I do not, me personally, I do not handle meat at all. I will work with people who still eat dairy, so I will handle dairy, but I don't handle any forms of meat or fish at all. And so when she contacted me, she said, the only reason why I don't think that I would ever be all the way vegan or plant-based is because I don't know how to do it. She said, I enjoy having a piece of fish every now and then, but what I did for her was to show her, because a lot of times people waste a lot of food, especially produce, because they don't know what to do with it. And so my work with her was showing her how to utilize everything that was already in her refrigerator, in her cabinet, and everything, and create these wonderful meals that could be frozen and saved and reheated, and that would save her time, money, and energy. And so as a result of that, she was very, very pleased with the work that we did together, and she ended up being one of my biggest backers on that Kickstarter campaign. So I just wanted to put that out there, that my range of services is usually custom made to fit the need of my client, whether it's a personal chef client and or an organization. I do it all.
See, and that's wonderful to know that did you hear her? He said customized, not generic, not, like we said, everybody's different. So you it's not like one size fit all. Just like, you know, when you go into a dress store, not all one size does never fit all. Even though the big girls to the tiny girls can't be getting in the big girl stuff, and the big girls can't be getting in the tiny girl stuff. So, you know, get in where you fit in. So, which is beautiful to find out they're versatile chefs. Like she said, she doesn't handle the meat, but maybe you would handle the meat and she could show you.
Exactly.
Just demonstrate without touching, and there's a way to do that. So she,
I can talk them through the process.
Right. So she's right there, your coach, like you're like your life coach. She is kind of your life coach because she's you know, you're the life coach.
To a certain degree, yes.
Right.
Because it is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle, and I think that, and I'm sure you would agree with me, that if people start to remove the diet words out of their vocabulary and realize that it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. This is where it's like, so there is no way that anybody in this world can go without eating for a very long period of time. It's a part of their life. So you might as well not only get the best out of it, but by getting the best out of it, you want to make sure that you're eating the best fruits, you know, vegetables, whole grains, you know, because for me, as I said earlier, it was a health issue. People always say, oh, organic is so expensive, oh, vegetarian is so expensive. My answer to that, here's my response to that. Well, I guess, it all depends on how you look at it.
Yep.
Because here's what we know for certain, that we're all going to have to pay. So we can't get around not paying. We just have to decide if you want to pay on the prevention or if you want to pay on the cure. And I guarantee you that if you have to pay on the cure, you're going to pay 20 times more than if you had made a decision to pay.
Well, my favorite.
And that starts with a balanced diet and lifestyle. A quality balanced diet and lifestyle.
What I like to say, I'm cheaper than going to see a doctor. You know, when you go into the doctor, so when you complain about the prices and your insurance, I'm cheaper than going to your doctor that you have to pay. You through your insurance that you already pay, and they take the money out and they get their money, but you still got to do a copay. So it's cheaper to come and see me, or cheaper to come and see Chef Ifyaomi, so that she can work with you at that, you know, cost. And then, you know, I myself, I've learned something called payment plan. That was never in my vocabulary once upon a time. You know what I mean? I want my money, I want it now. But I learned, even when I have to pay bills or had to pay bills, let me say, I still pay bills, but what I'm getting at is that I had to sometimes go on a payment plan. Just like you pay your credit card, I had to do that. So I'm like, wait a minute. I want a credit card and I want to pay. So why shouldn't I offer that opportunity for a payment plan? Now, everybody has a setup different of how they can do things. So that's one thing to look at, how it's done. And I'm learning, everybody is learning. And I learned this from a sister friend that she told me this summer about a payment plan. Have a payment plan in place, because not everybody's going to have all that funding up front to be able to pay for your services. But make sure that you have a contract. And that's what I'm sharing with my sister. Make sure you have a contract and that they can be trusted to make their payments on their agreement. And then, you know, you get what you get. And that's really nothing. You know, what you're paying to be with her and take you maybe, you know, field trips in the supermarket, and also how to read labels. You know, this is very important. How to read labels and how to understand the term of what the different verses of sugar is, and understand, okay, fructose is a sugar, yes it is, but the fruit, the way it breaks down in your body in a whole form is different. And she'll explain that to you, because you're going to get an education on how food digests in your system and why you're eating these things and why you want to stay away from processed. This should go over with you, these are some of the things that I do. And I sit down with my client and I do one-on-one. And I know she does one-on-one. So you really want to understand where they're coming from, because everybody's like, well, I can't do this because I can't go out. And I'm like, why can't you go out? Because I can't eat dessert and it's white sugar and I'm supposed to avoid sugar. Well, these are the tools of the trade that we can teach you how to go out and actually order food while you're out. There's different things that you can do when you go to Burger King or go to McDonald's. And, if you have to, if you're with someone and someone is treating you for lunch at these fast food places, there's a way to go about it. Now, I'm going to say this, there might not be Heirloom unless you're going to a Whole Foods store or a restaurant that's just geared for that. So that being said, you need to know. But there's other things, if you're vegetarian or vegan or trying to transition or trying to detox, there's a way to order food to get around that. And she will teach you that. There's a way to jumpstart your day of just going for, I'm a meat eater, and now, Chef Ifyaomi, I definitely want to be a vegan. So what do I do? She can get you started. When you get up in the morning, she's going to get you started. She'll write something down for you to be able to do it. So all these questions that you have, how would you transition? Some people transition faster than others. And don't beat yourself up when you backslide or something. Well, I shouldn't say backslide. That's almost like we're saying you're a sinner. Okay, when you have that craving for whatever you need, it's okay. Eat what you need and jump right back on a horse. Don't beat yourself up about it.
Be easy about it. It's a process.
Right.
All of it is, we are constantly in process.
Right.
So, just be easy about it. Don't beat yourself up. Get back up. It's just like falling down. You fall down, you get up, you brush your clothes off, and you keep on walking.
There you go.
Thing.
So,
same exact thing.
So this is, spirituality. As you grow, you expand and you expand and you expand and you expand more. So I wanted to talk about where you also might see Chef Ifyaomi in Las Vegas. She has an event going on July 25th and July 26th that she's going to share with us that is going on. And it's a babalao that's coming from Oakland. So this is for some spiritual information for you out there, for the people that are in the Yoruba tradition, people that want to get information about the Yoruba tradition, people that want to know some, other information. You can talk to her, and I'm going to let her explain where she's at, what's going on, to give you more insight. There you go, sis.
Well, now that we've shifted the conversation a little bit, and I only say a little bit because, in my opinion, they're all connected.
Correct.
Mind, body, and spirit. And your what you're eating and your lifestyle is all a part of that. And I say that because, the body is just the temple that houses the spirit. And so for us, in my opinion, to evolve to our highest self, to the point where we can live, more of a balanced life. And we want to make sure that our temple is clean, thus the foods that we eat, so that we can receive what we need to receive spiritually and operate from our highest self at all times.
Right.
So, in one perspective, it seems as though we're shifting the conversation from the plant-based lifestyle and way of eating to the spiritual, but as far as I'm concerned, they're one and the same. So, yes, we talked about my name is Ifyaomi, which is a part of the Yoruba tradition, which is a part of the tradition that I practice. And we have what we are forming a new Ile or house for people who want to know more about the Yoruba tradition from a basic, fundamental level. In Las Vegas, we work from a metaphysical store called The Spirit Within You. How appropriate is that? So at The Spirit Within You on July 25th and 26th, Saturday and Sunday, we are hosting a 2-day workshop called Orisha Lifestyle. And in this workshop, this 2-day workshop, you will learn the basic fundamentals about Ifa, the Yoruba tradition itself, Ifa, ancestral reverence, what is the Orisha, and how to utilize all of these different components within this way of living, spiritual way of living, that will ultimately, as we like to refer to, help you to, quote unquote, live the medicine. So the Babalawo that we are bringing in, his name is Baba Obafemi Oringuwa. He's out of the Bay Area, Oakland, and he is a Babalawo as well as a teacher and the creator of what he has called the Orisha Lifestyle Academy. And so he has created this curriculum centered around bringing us closer to who we are in the Yoruba tradition, starting with the basic fundamentals. Because most people, sometimes a lot got lost when we came over here for slavery and a little convoluted, and humans started putting their spin and their interpretation, and they did the best that they could with what they had to work with. But there are some more fundamental truths that we could be operating from in this spiritual tradition. And so if you want to be enlightened, if you want to get more information, if you've had questions about this and just did not know where to turn, this will be the workshop for you. Now, bad news is that we only have 20 physical slots available for people in Las Vegas. That's the bad news. And those slots are filling up quick. So if you're in Vegas or you're in Arizona or you're in LA and you think you may want to be a part of this, physically, I would suggest that you go onto the Spirit Within You website, www.thespiritwithinyou, just the letter U, not YOU.com, and register for this exciting 2-day workshop. However, like I said, the bad news is that we only have 20 physical spots available. However, we've gotten so many more requests from people out of town that the Babalawo has agreed to do a live streaming. So the good news is you don't actually have to be there to get the benefits, to get the information. It would be just like you're actually in the workshop with us. You would just be doing it from a live stream. Again, whether you want to physically be there or you want to do it live stream, go to www.spiritwithinyou.com. There you'll find information about how to register, how to pay for the registration, what's going to be covered, the materials that you will receive, as well as registering for the physical workshop or registering for the live stream. And, we hope to see you there. It's going to be epic. He just created the Orisha Lifestyle Academy within the last couple of years. And so he's an African-American who studied with quite extensively with quite a few Yoruba Babalawos out of Nigeria, and that's where his house is. And so, give thanks and blessings to him and his family to have the foresight and the vision to want to create this for us here in America in a way that is clear and concise, where we can get the fundamentals and know how to better, as he would say, live the medicine.
Okay.
And that's really where we want to be.
That's true. This is true. I'm glad about that. It's been doing good. So you have
Good.
anything else you would like to share?
No, I just want to, once again, thank you, for your support. I really appreciate having me on your show. Actually, from the first time that I saw you, and I had actually kind of been, I think I told you this when we first talked, that I had been stalking you out for a while before I actually like got up the nerve to send you an actual email or whatever. And so I had listened to your shows, this very show that I'm on. I had listened to a couple of them, and I said to myself, wow, it would be really, really cool for me to be on that show. I have to be on her show one day. And so here I am. So I thank you for this opportunity. It's a blessing.
No problem. You manifest what you want. That's what I tell people.
I agree.
You manifest what you want. My nonna and my nanny and nana would say, anything that you want, you can have, because you're that powerful. And you got to believe you're that powerful. When you stop believing you're that powerful, then you stop manifesting what you want. And sometimes we manifest stuff for other people. But when we start manifesting for ourselves, sometimes it's the hardest thing. And that's what she did tell me. So manifest what you want and it should come. I'm like so on that and so grateful for that, for the teaching of the lessons and everybody that plays a part in my life. And I'm glad that I got to talk to you out there in Las Vegas, and now she's in Chicago. She's in the great big where what's his name? Gregory, actually, Dr. Gregory actually made the first vegan raw restaurant out there in Chicago. Chicago weather. Yeah, Dr. Gregory. You know who I'm talking about?
No, but one of the first vegan restaurants came from someone who was a leader with the African Hebrew Israelites called Soul Vegetarian. So I'm not sure if that's the restaurant that you're talking about.
I don't think so. I don't know, but I will get back to you, because my yay was the one that was telling me that Chicago was the first one to kick it off for the raw vegan.
Yeah, she's from here.
Yes, she's from Chicago. Even though she's in
Asia. And I know some of the same people. So I'm almost sure that she's probably talking about vegetarian.
Yeah, so she was telling me, she said he laid the groundwork where you can see him. He used to be a comedian. So I probably not.
You're talking about Dick Gregory.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Dick Gregory is his name.
There. So she was telling me about him. She was like, but I'm finding out a lot of people. I was in Philadelphia. If you ever get a chance to go to Philadelphia, there's this beautiful sister, Miss Beverly. She has this raw vegan restaurant that's there in Philadelphia and Germantown area called Raw Living. It is awesome. When I say awesome,
did you ever been to Philly? Not direct, like not in there. I've only been through there, like layover, driving through, and I've never been there. But I will definitely, wherever I go, I see two things. Vegan, vegetarian, raw food restaurants, and African dance. Wherever I go.
Well, and it's right down the street from all of that. It's in Germantown. That's what they do. Which I really appreciate them doing all the work. And she is just phenomenal. She makes a beautiful, now I know this, they're going to be out there on the weekend, Miss Beverly, they're going to eat up your pie. It's a banana coconut cream pie, raw vegan, and it is so, woo, smack your mama, step up.
Three things that got me. Banana and coconut. I eat anything banana and anything coconut.
There you go. And she put them together.
I only put coconut. I only use coconut oil on my skin, my hair. Coconut. I use it. Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Banana coconut cream raw. Okay. Yeah. I'm all over that. If I'm ever in Philadelphia.
Yeah. She's beautiful. She's just been doing some just wonderful work, and I was asking her. She has been raw vegan for 35 years or more.
Wow.
And this, you guys can look at the video because I did a video with her and I was so impressed that when I left her restaurant, I went home and to my mother's house and I created my own banana cream pie. I was like, she only make this, just waiting for this pie. It's like, okay, before she could get it out, it was already sold. I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean it's sold? What do you mean it's sold? She said, it's gone. It's gone. And I was like, wow. So for me, I like to go to different spots. This is what I do when I'm in a town or a state. I want to go. I've traveled if people know, I was in Roxborough and I drove all the way up to Lansdale to go see Arnold and Arnold Way. He's in the green smoothie movement. He was the gentleman that I bought my first champion juicer from. He used to be in Jenkintown when my daughter was a baby. That's when I started getting into food. But these are the people that exposed me to the way I started eating and cleaner. And I was a young girl not understanding, but I knew what I liked. Like I knew I wanted to be this vegetarian. But I didn't know that was the name it was. I just knew I wanted more vegetables and greens and stuff like that. Like my mother and them, they used to make African greens. These African greens that were like from Africa, and their greens was not the down south greens. These were greens and they were all vegetables. Beautiful vegetables and spices and onions and tomatoes and the Scotch bonnet peppers, and you would eat it with brown rice.
Right, usually African. I was just about to say, usually African greens you eat with rice.
Yes.
I was just about to say that right when I was saying it, you said and rice.
And brown rice.
Right now to this brown rice, exactly.
See?
Right now to this day, that's the way that I make my greens. I made a pot of collard turnips and mustard greens. Mustards are my favorite.
Okay.
I made some mustard, turnips, and collards, and I made a pot of brown rice, and I had some mushrooms, and I did mushroom and onions, and I cooked the mushrooms in the greens, but on the top as a garnish, I had tomatoes and red onions.
All right, see.
We're talking about good, and that's the way and it was over brown rice because that's those African greens. That's the way I make mine. Yes.
See, so that is in my cookbook, ladies and gentlemen, for y'all to know, and that it's vegan and tastes good. Like I said, this is not your mama's greens. But these were my mama's greens, but these are my mama's greens. Okay, this is my mama's recipe, but I'm saying for people that consider collard greens and kale, and my mama would just do it. My mama would do it down, and I had her come. Okay, you guys, I went and picked my mother up from Philadelphia and brought her to Bloomfield, New Jersey. Okay, now I'm going to the Culinary Institute of America. I brought my mama from Philadelphia to have her make me her greens. Okay, I was like, no. Mama, you got to make me this. She was like, well, you got the brown rice. And I was like, no, I want the greens. My mama told me what to do. And she just laid on the couch and just said, baby, chop this, do this, that, and then said, okay. And then I add my little flair to it. Now, when we get a recipe, we always got to label it or do something different. So my mama knows I pay homage to my mama, and for everything, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be the young woman that I am, and a strong woman that is out in my community, strong and tough, and that my mother's there in the best way that she can be. You know, she understands. She thinks some of the stuff I'm saying is cuckoo, but in the real, she understands what I'm saying is real, and she'll let me know. You know, you went on there, and my mama be like, "You done told too much of your business," and I was like, "No, I'm keeping it real, because when we're out here, people think, oh, well, she's this way." No, what you see is what you get. You see how I'm dressed, you see how I act, is what you're going to see in public. If I'm sitting there telling you to your face, or it's just me, know that what I'm saying is real. Okay? It is real as all get out. So, and that's the people I want to hang around. If you have a issue or problem or whatever, let's talk it out. And, you know, just talk. And you know what the best communal way of talking about a situation is over food. Let's get together. Let's break some lettuce. Let's get some spinach. Let's get some strawberry. Let's get some walnuts. You know, you see how, like, you know, got my food in it, and let's get a drink and let's talk this situation out.
Right.
Or, you know, if people are not in your best interest, you know, you separate and you just say, you know, and you don't wish them any harm. That's another thing. Never wish anybody any harm. Just say, I wish you the best, and give them peace and blessings and love. That's it. That's what you say. And I learned that. I'm learning. You know, I'm getting up there yet. Like, I can't wait to be 50. I'm like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, because I know what.
It's a beautiful thing. Sis.
See,
Let me just tell you, it is a beautiful thing.
See, I got some years, but my mama said stop rushing because that makes her older. I said, that means you look good, older mama. She ain't trying to hear that. I just told her, I want to be 50, mama. I want to be 50. And she was like, why? I was like, it's just always something about that age just appeals to me. And I don't know why. It always. And that's what I told her. She was like, okay, you're only 13. You're talking about 50. I didn't care about 21. I didn't care about 35, 31. I mean, there's good ages, but I wanted the big 5-0. So when my mama got to be big 5-0, guess what? I threw her the biggest birthday party. You know what? She didn't really know, but it was really me celebrating like I was going to be 50. The party was for her, but it's really for me, because I'm like, I'm going to just enjoy being 50. But, you know, I just know something about our wisdom that we spread is older, and the knowledge and the enlightenment that comes with that age is really beautiful. And I'm looking forward to sharing with my younger sisters and brothers that are coming up, and my grandchildren. So this is something to look forward to. So when someone says that you're getting older, say, oh, thank you. Stop, take a look, and take a picture and smile. Because I smile all the time. Like, okay. Because with age comes wisdom and acknowledgement and accomplishments. That's think about it like that. Everything you accomplish, be glad of. Because if you hadn't hit the age you are, you wouldn't have accomplished it younger. And be happy for who you are. That's my advice for you, ladies and gentlemen. Just be happy of who you are and where you are at this moment. And if you want to change it, just change it. Don't complain about it.
It's just that simple. It is just that simple.
Right. Be about it. So I'm saying, oh, we went in on an overtime. But that's all good. That's okay. We don't went in an overtime. She shared with us. I'm going to put this information at the what's the name? What am I going to do? At the bottom, you guys are going to be able to see the information, and I'm trying to make sure that we'll be able to see it on YouTube. For people out there live on YouTube, hello. And I want to say thank you, and you will be seeing this recording thanks to my producer, Tiffany. White Sage Woman will be producing it. It will be on True Psychic Network channel as well. as well as on YouTube, and she's going to upload it onto Ustream, so you'll get to see it in many places. And it'll also be on Facebook, and then it'll be on Chef Ifyaomi's Facebook page that she can have it. So I'm going to give her the link as well. So we're going to do this. So, ladies and gentlemen,
yes, when you post it on Facebook, just tag me in the post, and then actually post it. It'll be fun.
Okay, it'll be good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to reach out to her. And I want to say what I always say, this is your favorite food alchemist. What I say, love, light, life, longevity, and much prosperity to all of us. Toodles, everyone. Okay.